Hi everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to fade your own hair. Now, this is a simplified tutorial for those who have never cut their hair before, or you're even about to do it for someone for the first time. I've seen a lot of videos making this extremely complicated and hard, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible so everyone can follow it and hopefully not make too many mistakes. This video is going to be broken down into two parts. Firstly, what equipment you need, especially to cut your own hair or to effectively cut it. And the second part is actually doing it. I don't want to waste too much time with this video, so let's get started. First of all, the most essential piece of equipment that you're going to need is your hair clippers. Now, I would recommend any equipment from Wall, as you can see written here, as all their clippers are extremely reliable and used internationally by all barbers. The cheapest ones tend to start at around £30, but the more expensive ones can go all the way up to 100, which I don't think you need to spend unless you are looking to do this for a full-time job. So get yourself a basic set of clippers and that will get the job done. If your clipper also has this little bit on the side, then that's even better. It's going to help you more with your fade today. And if you haven't bought yourself a set of clippers, try and find one with this attachment, as it is really helpful. Secondly, what you're going to need today are your guards. These are the heads that attach onto your clippers to allow you to change the sizes. The more you have, the better, but the most essentials that we need today are these two, which is a size 1 and a 2, or a 3mm and a 6mm. With these, you should be able to give yourself a basic fade. These two are the two essential sizes that should come with all clippers, and they should allow you to get your fade done today to the best of its quality without needing to do anything too crazy or complicated. The last thing you're going to need today is a mirror that's fixed against the wall and a smaller one that you can use to see the back of your head. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. So with the clippers, I'm going to do about an inch line up to about here with my zero, and I'm going to very straight and carefully go all the way around to the back of my head. When we get about halfway, we're going to switch hands and do the other side. So again, we've now switched sides, and we're going to start from this side and go all the way around to the back and meet again in the middle over here. So very carefully, trying to keep it as horizontal as possible. And I don't want you guys to worry about this area in the back. We're going to clean that up last, so we're just going to focus on creating this inch of line at the right height to start with. As you can see, I'm now leveling it out. And we are done. Okay, yeah, all the way around, you can see. Now that we have our initial line, what we're going to do is just clean up everything below it, which should be fairly easy to do now. Just be very careful not to cross over the original line that you started. But can you see how I've made the line, and now it's very easy just to speed things up and just clean everything up underneath it. Keep listening out for the clippers as well. If you can hear it still cutting, then that means you need to go over it a few times. This will make things really clean and tidy and avoid things looking patchy, and also make your job easier throughout the whole fade right to the very end. So I want you to keep listening to the clippers as you're doing this, and make sure that you keep going until you stop hearing it cutting the hair anymore. So we're now going up to the next size to do the next line. So we're going to slap this on just like that. Now onto the next step. Now this is where the fading technique really comes in. So what we're going to be doing is, as we put the clippers on our head, we're going to be flicking away from ourselves, and this is what creates the blending effect to give the fade. Be sure not to be too stiff with your hands. The looser you are, the better it's going to be, and the easier and more comfortable you're going to feel doing it. So let's get started. So as you're going to see, as I do my hair, I'm going to be flicking away and trying to keep that inch guideline throughout the whole thing and not go too higher. Go like that, flick away, 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 and all the way around. And as we get to the halfway point at the back, we're going to go back over this again, and we're going to try and really listen out and see if we can still hear the hair clippers cutting any of the hair. For me, I can't hear anything anymore, so I've gone over this bit enough times and we're ready to switch hands now. So again, we're going to start from this side now and keep that flicking motion and work with about 1 inch of space above the line we've created. I'm going to go all the way back round and meet at the back. Now, if you can see, I've created the line with the 0, and above it, I've created the line with the size 1. As we get to near the top of the head and the hair is starting to meet with the hairline up here, we are going to reach the last step where I want you guys to really aggressively pull away from the head as you meet towards the corner of the hairline over here, and it should blend out the final bits. This is where it gets really tricky, so you have to be careful with your hands and make sure you don't go too high, because that's what's going to mess up whatever hair you've got on the top. So let's get started. And I'm just going to pull away. And not go too much higher up here. So I'm going to work all the way around again and try and meet at the back. All the way around. All done. So for the final steps, having this part on your clippers is what's really going to help. If you can see, it extends the blade, adding on an extra 0.5, and it's what's going to help us go back through each of the lines we've made and really blend them out. We're going to go back down a size again to the one that we did in the previous step, which is just like that. So I'm going to extend my blade as I showed you just then, and I'm going to work through this line, and I'm going to try and blend it upwards into this one. And again, we're going to really aggressively flick away from the head against the line and just try and make it blend. So watch very carefully. Pulling away from the head and working that line very carefully, making it blend in. Once it's blended as much as you can, feel free to adjust your clippers, as so, by closing it just slightly. Show you again, a little better. We'll close it just a little bit and work the lines that I can't get rid of, just like this. And you make it a little bit smaller again, and let's try and work this last line out, see if we can get rid of it. Okay, there we go, all done. Once you've done that all the way around your head, we're going to go back down a size again, down to the 0 or whatever grade that you had used in between if you did. And again, we've got the blade extended, and we're going to work this line along here and try and blend it upwards into here. As you get shorter, it gets really tricky, so I want you guys to be careful and not to push too high up, because then you're going to have to try and correct it, which is going to be an absolute headache. So I'm going to work this line and go all the way around. And can you see already it's starting to go? Very carefully, just flick away from the head, really careful. Try not to mess anything up above. Really careful. And just flick, flick, flick. And as you can see, it's pretty much almost faded itself. Yeah, look at that. And just if you see any patchy bits, or if there's any darker light bits, just try and adjust this bit and just try and work it so it all looks like one clean blend from the bottom to the top. See, that was completely easy. Shouldn't be too tricky. So once you've done all the steps and you've cleaned it up as much as possible, it should look something like this, and you've got a basic skin fade now done on your hair. So I have a quick tip for those who have quite long hair on the side. Connecting these bits around here tends to be quite hard, so one of the easy tricks I tend to do is to get the largest grade possible, and I want you to just go really carefully horizontal along here and try and angle it away from your head at the top, and really carefully just slowly work your way in until you can hear it cutting the hair, and it should blend it fairly good. And make sure you brush your hair along that way as well as you're doing it, and you can just follow along the hair and blend it like that. So be really careful. If you press too hard, you're going to take off tons of hair, so work gently and always be safe, and work your way in slowly until you can start to hear it cutting a little bit of hair. So final steps for those who have facial hair or a beard is just to blend in this bit, if there's something you want to do. So it's the same technique. So when we fading our hair up here, we tend to pull away. So from here, we're going to start away and we're going to push in slowly. So it's almost like a semicircle when you're doing the bottom half of that. So show you how I do it. I'm going to keep this open so it's long, so not closed, open. And we're just going to very carefully start away from the hair and start to come in. And you can see it start to blend. And what you want to do is just do the same thing with the fade, but the other way. So if your beard is quite long over here, so use the larger grades here and get smaller and smaller and smaller and work your way in until you can blend it in as good as possible. And there you have it. That's it for the tutorial, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And yes, since then I have also bleached my hair and it looks horrendous. If anyone has any questions, just message me at any point and I'll try and help as much as I can. I hope that was really helpful, and thanks for watching. Peace out.